When words fall short, when hope feels thin, listen close, let music begin.
Hi, everybody, it's your friend Cindy, and today I have the honor to introduce you to an amazing woman speaker. Her name is Amy Coopersmith, walking the two-way street. Hi, Amy.
Hi, it's so nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Cindy.
Well, you looked like you have a very interesting topic. What do you speak on?
Well, I teach people how to listen to children.
Oh my gosh, so needed. Oh my gosh, this is great, Amy. You teach people, in my opinion, children are the smartest beings on this whole planet, especially the toddlers.
Well, I would agree with you. I've spent over 30 years working with young children, and I've learned so much. And that's why it's a two-way street, because they're teaching me at the same time that I work with them.
Oh, I love this. Okay, so tell us your story.
Great. Well, I started out as a teacher. I worked first for 10 years as a teacher. And in my training, when I was getting my master's degree, I learned about self-teaching, children teaching themselves. And there was a researcher who had a whole program about the importance of children teaching themselves instead of us spoon-feeding everything to them. And the research showed that children had much greater success when they took a leadership role in their own learning. So after that, I became an occupational therapist, and I worked in the New York City schools for over 30 years. And I noticed that none of the other therapists or even a lot of the educators were not using these same techniques of child-led learning. So I was doing it myself. And when I became a supervisor, I started teaching other people how to do it. And I saw a tremendous success in getting anecdotal stories from the teachers and therapists and children themselves. When I worked with them, they would be so engaged. And these were children that other people were saying, oh, that's such a difficult child. And I thought, well, they're not difficult when they're in my room, when they're with me. So I started really paying attention to that. And when I retired from my full-time job in 2020, I went back and got my doctorate because I wanted to learn more about this whole aspect of child-led learning. So I created some programs, and I did research studies to make sure that the programs were effective. I didn't want to promote something unless I knew that it really works and helps. And I found that it really did. The data was very strong and showed that child-led learning is a very powerful technique.
I am so buying that program. I am so getting your program. My son has decided he's going to homeschool, and the children are 7, 5, and 2. And
well, yes, that's the perfect age for this particular program. I do have one for older kids as well, but I did this one with puppets because I felt that I wanted to make it fun and lively. And I come from a theatrical family. That was my upbringing. So I said, I want to just teach a lesson. I want to make this fun and interactive. And so there's music and puppetry involved to really get children engaged.
you are speaking my language right now. So, because I just saw something popped up on LinkedIn, just popped up, and you know how that happens. You're on a roll and then something. And it said that children who listen to instrumental music, which we call transparent music, no lyric, their grades are much higher or not listen to, but also play instrumental music too. So I know that just playing it helps a lot, but actually teaching how to create music and how to get the child to create their own music, it goes way up.
I love it. I love it. And I noticed as well that when children sang along with me and we would play music during the sessions, they were so much more engaged and excited. So one of the things in my program that I really think is a powerful aspect of it is that I have 12 lessons on what I call self-determination. And self-determination is really all about child-led learning. It's the same thing. But the term self-determination was researched by, very well-known experts in the field, and they determined that children with disabilities who are given opportunities to express themselves, solve problems, take charge of their lives, they have much more successful futures than those who are not given those opportunities. And we're in a rush world right now. Everybody's in a hurry. So we don't always want, if a child is on their way to school and we notice that their shoes are untied, we might not take the time to say, oh, let's see you try to tie your shoes now. We're in a rush, like, okay, we got 5 minutes to get to school. So we do it for them. And if we do that for them all the time, we're doing a tremendous disservice to them.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, when we're in a rush, we can't just say, okay, take 10 minutes to figure out how to tie your shoes, but we can do it on the weekend, and we can do it at night before bedtime when there's no rush. So that's the idea behind this program, is to give children as many opportunities as possible to express themselves, figure things out on their own, and decide what matters to them, what speaks to them, what's important to them.
Oh, I love what you're doing, Amy. This is great. This is great.
I get so excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Tell us somebody that you helped. Do you have a testimony?
Well, I have quite a few. And when you mentioned that, I thought to myself, what am I going to highlight here? Okay. So I'm going to tell you about a young man who, now he's a young man, but when I first met him, he was 5 years old.
Oh.
And he had my understanding was he had fetal alcohol syndrome, he had ADHD, he had a number of, because I was an occupational therapist, so I was helping children who had special concerns that needed to be addressed. So he was so much fun. He was a very lively boy, and we worked together, and he was just lovely. And the kinds of things I did with him was have him fill out a choice board. So he would pick what he wanted to do during the session, and he would track his own progress toward his goals. Everything was very much led by him during the sessions. And then I was promoted as a supervisor, so I transferred him to a different therapy practitioner, and I went off to do my thing. So that was about 18 years ago, maybe. And last December, I got a Facebook request, friend request, and it was him. Oh. And he's now in his early 20s. And I sat there thinking, is this ethically okay to become a Facebook friend with one of my former students? Yeah. And I asked around, and everybody said, he's not your student anymore, and he's an adult, so It's fine.
Of course.
So I accepted. I became his Facebook friend. And do you know what I found out? He is a conductor of an orchestra in New York City. And he is finishing his master's. Isn't that fabulous? And he is finishing his master's degree. He's finishing his master's degree in music right now. He's first clarinet in his school, and he conducts this orchestra in New York City on a regular basis. And I asked him, just through a little text, I said, what do you think made the difference? Because clearly you're very, having a lot of success. And he said, you listened to me.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought to myself, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Here we are 18 years later, and he remembers that I listened to him.
Oh my gosh. It just was that one brought tears. Oh,
confirmation that that this work matters, that this is making a big difference.
Oh, Amy, this is fantastic. You need
if you have time for a quick second story, it's less than a minute long.
Of course,
a quick second story.
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it.
I teach a lot of courses on this exact technique. And one of the courses is about using puppets, because sometimes children, when you talk to them, let's say they're upset, and you say to the child, what's the matter? What's bothering you? And they get nervous. They feel put on the spot, But if you have a little puppet and you say, the puppet is very upset. Do you think you can help the puppet? What's bothering him? All of a sudden, the child comes out of their shell, and now they're willing to share their ideas. So I taught a whole course on how to use puppets with children to promote positive mental health and communication. After I taught that course, I got an email writing to me, said that she's introduced puppets to this boy who was a non-speaking boy. He did not talk. And she gave him the puppet, and he was so in love with this puppet that he wanted to take it with him everywhere. So she let him take it from class to class. And one day, all of a sudden, he started talking to the puppet. This was a non-speaking child. So everybody was amazed that he had started to speak. And now he has this puppet in all the classes, and he's talking to the puppet. And all of a sudden, one day, he turned to a friend and started speaking.
You know, I did that with my kids. I had a lamb chop puppet that I kept, and they were in their little car seats, and they would start arguing like kids do, you know. And I would, I'd put lamb chop and say, "What are you guys fighting about? Your mom's trying to drive. What's going on?" And they would talk.
They would talk to Lamb Chop, right?
They would talk to. Then when got my first grandson, we were in a toy store, and there was a whole bunch of puppets, and he was playing with Thomas the Train, and he didn't want to leave. He was 3 years old, and he wouldn't leave. And I said, "It's time to go, Marcus. It's time to go." So I pulled off this German, no, it was a Saint Bernard puppet, and I brought it over to him. I said, "Hey, your Nana needs to leave now." Okay. I went to the cash register. I said, "How much is this thing?" I still have it.
Right.
Duke
I
the dog.
bet. Once you see something that works, you stick with it, right?
Oh, that's brilliant. That is so brilliant. Tell us a song that inspires you.
Well, there's a lot of songs that inspire me, but I think the one that I'm going to share with you right now, I walk around singing it all the time. It's a song that I wrote myself, and it's called My Goal. So I'm not a professional singer, but I will sing a little bit of it for you because the lyrics, I wrote about 12 songs for this program that I mentioned, the Captain Me program.
Okay.
And each song has a message that, first of all, in the first 1 to 2 lines of the songs is the most important message of the song. So if they can just remember the first 2 lines, they've got the message. Okay. And they're all messages about how to live a successful, meaningful life. Okay. So they're kind of songs of self-advocacy in a way.
Okay.
So this song is called My Goal, and here's how it goes. My goal, it's what I really want to do. My goal, I'm achieving it for me and not for you. And then the next part goes, how will I pick my goal? Let's see. I'll think of what's most important to me. It's something that I love, that I need to do, not just because someone told me to. So you get the idea.
Oh,
it's about advocacy, right?
Oh, I'm telling you, Amy, you are speaking my language. Completely speaking my language. I love. You're the first person that I've done a podcast with that actually understands children and what they need.
Right. And you know what? If we don't help children, they're going to grow up to be adults that are going to have the same exact problems that we're already seeing. So we got to try and change something a little bit.
Nip it in the bud.
Mix it up and give them different strategies that might actually help them live a better life.
Oh, gosh, I love this. I love this. Thank you so much, Amy. And I would like to podcast you again, and we can talk more about your program that you have. Okay?
Great. I love it.
I'm excited.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll see you soon.
Great.
Bye-bye.